Hey, what's up? I'm Talking Mike here. Let's talk about Daredevil Unleash Hell Red Band Edition. So our story starts out with Elektra, who is now, I guess, one of the Daredevils in the Marvel Universe. She is basically in Hell's Kitchen, kind of, busting the baddies. She's actually going after this drug dealer, drug manufacturers in this particular part of Hell's Kitchen. As she's doing this, she's reminiscing and kind of wondering exactly why Hell's Kitchen is called Hell's Kitchen. But as Elektra is fighting off the drug dealers and the drug manufacturers at this big like facility, it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of like, it's a pretty big building, I feel like. And the what happens is when she's fighting, some chemicals end up getting knocked over, and this big explosion happens, which destroys the entire facility, sending Elektra flying through the window, and actually ends up opening up a giant crack in the ground, breaking this seal, and something gets out. So the story transitions after the giant explosion. Some people end up hearing it, and we transition to basically what is an art school. We meet this young girl named Morgan who is painting this kind of morbid-ish picture. And she kind of gets ridiculed and critiqued pretty heavily for creating this work of art. She basically copies this one specific painting. I don't remember what the painting is, but they didn't have a head in the painting. As she's getting critiqued by this guy, this like smokish, bloody thing ends up showing up, and it ends up being a character that Daredevil has fought in the past named MUSE. But this is like his soul, I think. If you don't know who MUSE is, because I didn't know who MUSE was, MUSE is a serial killer who basically kills people and uses their body parts to create different works of art. And in this story, he basically uses Morgan as a muse to become the new muse so he can basically start killing people and doing art again, it seems like. Because at the moment, Muse is trapped in hell because apparently he is dead. And he was able to get out of hell, sort of, because of the explosion that happened within Hell's Kitchen. Because apparently Hell's Kitchen is on like some kind of ley line connected to hell, maybe? I don't know. So let me show y'all the art in this and whatnot. So here's your creative teams right here. These are the different writer. This is the writer and the artist for these particular. This one did 1 through 20 and then like 21 to 25 for this one. Because the art doesn't actually change in this. But I have to say, like, I really actually like the art in this. I felt like all the action was pretty dynamic and stuff. Everything was laid out pretty well in a sense. When we get to this one page, and I was like, oh my God, this one splash page where we see Elektra moving throughout the entire room and fighting all these people who are making all the drugs and whatnot. It's just, I loved all the action. I really actually do like her outfit as well. Her outfit's pretty cool. But yeah, the artwork is pretty amazing. I think it definitely fits the tone of this type of story they're trying to tell, with a more noir, like creepy vibe going on and whatnot. And then we get towards sort of the end of the issue. Here's where we get to like the red band stuff, where we do get some pretty graphic stuff where we see Elektra like, getting her wounds sutured and whatnot. But we get to like the second, this is probably a bad like splash page right here because they have a way it like folds and it just looks weird. But we get into like the second artist, and then like the book shifts tonally, like artistically, and we get this very creepy, like morbid vibe going on, which I am definitely down for. Like, it's really cool in a sense. And I like that, they have two different artists on this. It's not a detriment to the book, I feel like. When you have multiple artists, sometimes, it can be a detriment, but these two I feel like vibe very well in this first issue. This issue was very much set up for, I believe, this 6-issue miniseries. I have to say, jumping into this, because I was like, ooh, cool. Elektra as Daredevil. She was in the Laura Kinney Wolverine series for a little bit. And I was like, okay, I'm going to check this out and see what it's all about. I didn't realize that Elektra has been Daredevil for quite some time, not for the past couple of years, it seems like, or a Daredevil in Hell's Kitchen. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, is Matt Murdock back in jail? Because they reference Matt being in jail in this issue. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. But I have been keeping up with the Daredevil series for quite some time. And jumping back into this, I was slightly confused about the status quo and whatnot, but I liked this first issue. It very much, like I said, was set up for things to come, but it does have this really interesting, like, murder mystery thing going on. I didn't know who MUSE was. He was kind of, like, confusing, to be honest. Towards the end of this, I was, like, scratching my head a little bit. I was like, what exactly is going on? Like, why are we in hell all of a sudden? Like, what's going on? I have no idea. Even though I was slightly confused with this first issue, I did very much enjoy this. I liked seeing Elektra's point of view on Hell's Kitchen and whatnot, and kind of taking up the mantle of Daredevil, I guess again. I'm not for sure. One thing I actually did like was a nice touch, which her signs also doubled as like her billy clubs. Like they would shoot out and like had extend like the wire, like kind of Daredevil's billy clubs did. I thought that was cool. The action was really good in this, and whatnot. It was pretty gruesome in some parts, like pretty like violent, which I was kind of wondering why exactly did they have a. While I was reading this, I was like, why did they actually have like a red band on this? I know red band is more violent. When I was reading it, I was like, oh, this isn't violent that much, so why is there a red band on it? Well, it gets more violent towards the end. And oh boy, it does definitely warrant this. And they don't really pull their punches with this serial killer, I have to say. Which is a pretty cool character. I like the look and like all the vibes MUSE is kind of giving off and kind of making this other serial killer and influencing her and stuff like that. I thought was really interesting in how they incorporated like art and stuff into it. Like I thought that was like pretty cool as somebody who was a art major in school. I got a lot of the references and stuff like that. And I was like, oh yeah, that seems very familiar, except without all the killing and stuff. But all in all, it was a very fun, enjoyable first issue. I am interested to go check out the previous miniseries with Elektra Daredevil in it, and go check it out. I was surprised kind of as well as there were two different like art teams in this, which I was surprised. Like one did half and one did the other half and stuff like that. But let me know down in the comments. Did you pick this up? Are you not picking it up? Am I missing something? Should I be reading the ongoing Daredevil series at the moment to get this series? Let me know down in the comments down below. I'm Otaku Mike. I'll catch you guys on the next video. If you like this, share it with your friends and let me know how I did.